Welcome back to Vendetta Sports Media's NBA preview series. We'll start again. That was fucked. It's so bad. Lucky we're not live. Cool. Welcome back to Vendetta Sports Media's NBA preview series. My name's Jarrod Prosser. I'm here today with Jerry Walker. And today we are going to be talking about everybody's second favorite NBA team, the Sacramento Kings. Why are they the second team? Because they're completely not threatening. They're never going to win a thing. So everybody likes them and gives them a nice little condescending pat in the head. Sorry, Kings fans, by the way. You can tweet at me later and abuse me. But Jerry, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing well. Although now I'm risking the wrath of entire Northern California, which I'm a little worried about. But let's talk about these Kings. They're on a record-setting streak of not making the playoffs. We're at 16 years now. This isn't a team that's exactly building from the bottom up either. They're bringing in some younger veterans and have brought in some younger veterans over the last couple of years. Clearly, clearly this is about making the 8th seed, getting that monkey off the back, getting into the playoffs. But given what Sacramento did last season, is that something that is realistic? Let's talk about last season before we get into the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, just to go off what you said, the Kings with the Seattle Mariners making the playoffs this year, they now have the longest playoff drought in American sports of the top 5 professional leagues, which is just sad to see because they have some decent players at times, but nothing near what they need for the playoffs. And last year was another one of those seasons. They finished 30-52, 12th in the West, 5th in the Pacific. I will say I believe they were only 3 or 4 games behind the Lakers for that 4th in the division, and the Lakers made the play-in. So they weren't as far away as you would think, but it was the bad season from the get-go. They fired Luke Walton only 17 games in after starting 6-11. They replaced him with Alvin Gentry, who was the interim coach the rest of the season. And it was kind of just an uneventful season for the Kings. Couldn't get anything together. De'Aaron Fox got hurt later in the season and missed quite a few games. But it's kind of just another season as a Sacramento Kings fan.
So they did make a little bit of a splash, though. Got rid of the apparent point guard of the future in Tyrese Halliburton to bring in a 2-time All-Star in Domantas Sabonis. And you mentioned Fox's injury. That was a real shame. If you go and have a look at, say, Cleaning the Glass or Basketball Reference or any of the stats like Second Spectrum, you have a look at the splits from pre to post All-Star game. Fox was elite after the All-Star game. And I honestly, I think a lot of it was because he had a genuine, brilliant offensive big man around him in Sabonis. I think the two of them played off each other wonderfully in admittedly a small sample. So you're absolutely right, Jerry. That injury, it might not have made a difference to making the play-in or the playoffs, but it did rob us as viewers, and it did rob the Kings of a little bit of time to build up that chemistry between their two tentpole stars.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the two work together this season with a full off season, depending on how healthy they both are. But they had signed a couple other players as well this off season. Not much, but they went and got
some nice pickups.
They signed Malik Monk, which I think is a decent signing. He's a good second string player, brings a good threat off the bench. But then they traded.
And he can shoot, which is something this team desperately needs.
Yeah, because as good as De'Aaron Fox is, that's probably the weaker spot of his game is outside shooting. But besides getting Malik Monk, they got Kevin Huerter from the Atlanta Hawks. They acquired him in a trade for Justin Holiday and Maurice Harkless, which Kevin Huerter was good on the Hawks last year. He's a good role player. He was top 5 on the team in both points and assists. So
he's a fine player. Yeah, it's all about that first round pick for Atlanta. I mean, Holiday and Harkless has already been moved twice since then. He went to OKC and now to Houston in the last week. So, it's ultimately about the draft pick and Atlanta clearing room for Murray. But Huerter and Monk, even Kent Bazemore, nice pickup.
Yeah, but
a depth piece.
You said it right there. Keegan Murray out of Iowa, the 4th overall pick. he was really good to watch, really fun player in college. He won the Karl Malone Player of the Year award for being the best power forward in the nation. He adds just he just adds something to that team. They now have Sabonis, who's a good rebounding big man. De'Aaron Fox, as you mentioned, his rebounding improved. So this adds another threat on the glass, another threat down low. He's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and look, Murray's another one who adds shooting to this side. Because it used to be Harrison Barnes or nothing at the end of last season, really, which was quite sad. Just on Keegan Murray, before we get to who the team have lost, and we've mentioned Harkless and Holiday already, just Keegan Murray was a little bit of a controversial pick at the time. People expected I expected Jaden Ivey to go fourth as well, because the team really did need a shooting guard at this stage. Huerter and Monk weren't on the team. So I was surprised when Keegan Murray went 4, but I got to admit, his performance in Summer League, it shut me up and it shut a lot of people up. He was really, really good in Summer League, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, he was. I mean, it is Summer League, so it's kind of hard to tell completely how it'll be when he's playing against the big men in the league. But he showed good, promising signs of talent there. And he looks like if he can get his game going, I think he could be pretty decent for the Kings.
Yeah, absolutely. And he could either be a compliment to Barnes or could eventually supersede him as well as that genuine stretch 4. So I think he's a good pickup. Personally, I think Ivy will be the better player, but Murray's looking a lot better than I really thought he would be. Yeah, is there any other notable losses for the Kings?
No, nothing
personnel-wise.
Nothing that I saw of them that they've lost this off season, unless there's anything that I have missed. But
yeah, the only one I can really think of might be Damian Jones, who was a good, solid backup. He's gone to the Lakers, and probably won't play a lot unless Anthony Davis. Well, when Anthony Davis gets hurt, but Jones was quietly very good for Sacramento last season. He was a good backup big, but at the same time, backup bigs are replaceable. So it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, they could have
now.
DeAndre
This is
Jordan,
an interesting one. Sorry, go ahead.
They could potentially have DeAndre Jordan if he doesn't pan out for the Nuggets, or I'm sure there's other big men available.
Oh, there's plenty of big men available before you get to DeAndre Jordan, unless you're Denver, of course. But now, a lot of the times when we ask this next question, who is the star player on the team, it's pretty obvious. It's going to be LeBron or Giannis or Jokic or Ja Morant. Nice, easy questions. This one, it really is a racing too. But who do you think is going to be the main option in Sacramento this season?
I mean, it's the race between Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. I'm personally leaning a bit more towards De'Aaron Fox being that key player, just because he has been in Sacramento a little longer. He is the face of that franchise. And I mean, I know Sabonis came in late last year and didn't play as much, but De'Aaron Fox still led the team in points, assists, and steals. Does it at both ends of the court. He's quick. He's explosive. He's just an all-around good player.
And if he can keep up what he did with Sabonis in the team, I mean, he was averaging 30 a game. Like he was elite, absolutely stunning form with Sabonis alongside him. So I'm hoping, for Sacramento's sake, that isn't a flash in the pan, because that could be a really exciting combination. Yeah, his speed with Sabonis' passing would be amazing.
Oh yeah, it could be a really good 1-2 in the league. It could be one of the better 1-2 duos. But
absolutely, it really good, at least on offense. I mean, defensively they're flammable, but it's going to make for a lot of exciting games, a lot of 140 to 135 games between Sacramento and opposition team X. So never thought I'd say this, since it's been 20 years since we've said this, but it might be worth getting. When you get league pass, keep an eye on Sacramento.
Yeah, they'll be, even if they're not winning games, they will be an entertaining, fun, high-paced game. So they will be
a lot of shooting now too.
Oh yeah,
they'll let it fly. So they'll actually be a good watch this year. But look, it is the Kings. There's always going to be something go wrong. Jerry, who do you think, or what do you think the X factor is with the Kings?
I mean, we kind of hinted on my X factor for the Kings when we were doing the key player. It's going to be Sabonis and how well De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis gel together. We did see it a little preview last year and it went well, but it was a short period of time. They were new with each other. So if they've spent this whole offseason getting that chemistry going, knowing each other on and off the court, they'll be able to play and gel much, much, much better together. And like we said, they could be a very good duo together because Sabonis does a lot of the dirty work on offense. He's a grinder down low. He's big. He can pass. One of the better passing big men in the league.
He's a wonderful passer.
And if he gets out defensive rebound in the paint, De'Aaron Fox just bolts out. You can easily find him for a touchdown pass for just an easy layup on the fast break.
I even look at how they could be structured in the half court. And look, I'm old enough to watch. I watched young Arvydas Sabonis play in the 80s before he went to the NBA, which shows my age. But he really does. He's a smaller version of his old man. He's just an incredible offensive talent. And I look at what this team could do in the half court if you've got, say, Huerter, Keegan Murray, and Harrison Barnes around those two stretching the floor. You can't leave Sabonis one-on-one because his footwork is so good. And yes, you can lay off Fox, but he's a very good cutter, De'Aaron Fox. With the space to cut into with shooters around him now and Sabonis's pinpoint passing, we could see a whole lot of, high post action, elbow action Sabonis and see Fox running off screen. So I think we could see some really pretty basketball. My one concern is the person coaching him. Mike Brown, he's a good coach. Like, I'm not going to say he's a bad NBA coach. He's a good coach, but he's much more defensive minded. He's not known for, being innovative at the offensive end. So I'm hoping it's not just a whole bunch of, stock standard Fox and Sabonis pick and rolls. I'd love to see Fox running off the ball a little bit more. I think there could be some really, some very unique actions that Sacramento could run. They could be a very entertaining team, but I do worry that Mike Brown's, I suppose, inherent stodginess on offense might inhibit the team a little bit, although it should help them dramatically on defense.
Oh, yeah, and that's something they needed a lot of help on after last season.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Kings couldn't.
So is there anything else you wanted to touch on with the Kings?
No, I think we've covered the two main players. Harrison Barnes is a third option who's been good. We mentioned Murray, but if they can get all four of those guys working together, on-ball, off-ball screens, moving around, they could create a very, very good offense for the Kings.
Yeah. And again, if they can, this is such a low bar to clear, but if the Kings can be the 20th ranked team on defense and they can be a top 10 offensive side, and I think both of those are achievable, then, we could really see the best. And again, speaking of low bars, we could see the best Kings team we've seen in 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a nice little segue, actually, an accidental one, but it'll segue us into, Jerry, give us your prediction. How many games do the Kings win? And the $64,000 question, where do they finish in the conference?
I do think the Kings improve on their record last year because I think Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, what they showed together, isn't going to be a flash in the pan. I think they will gel together and play well. I have them going 32-51 and finishing 11th in the West, so not quite in that play-in spot, but I think it's very, very close. I think they'll be within a game and a half of that play-in, but it's the Kings. They'll somehow, some way find a way to just miss out again.
Yeah, Kang's going to Kangs. So there we go. Jerry Walker, bad news for you Kings fans from Jerry. It's going to be a heartbreaker. You're going to get 11th. You're going to miss out on the play-in, let alone the playoffs. So that's going to extend to year 17, that drought for the Kings fans. But that'll do it for this edition of our NBA preview series here at Vendetta Sports Media. All of these videos will be up on our YouTube channel, so hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're checking out these videos. Throw some comments at us. Tell us what you think. Do you think Jerry's overselling the Kings? Are they going to get 25 wins? Do you think they're due for 40? Let us know. Get on the socials. Talk to us. We'll always come back to you. We love the interaction. So you can get Jerry at JerryF007 on Twitter. My handle is hey_it's_JP. For Jerry Walker, I'm Jarrod Prosser, and we'll see you for our next NBA preview.